So Paul, what we actually doing this weekend?
I think it might be bumpers.
Okay, so today's video is all about putting a winch bumper on the back of Paul's Disco. Okay Paul, so this is the starting point.
Yeah.
Is this essentially what you get if you take off a bumper, a normal standard bumper off a Disco? You've not cut anything off yet,
No.
This is what someone would find?
No, all I've done, normal Disco's got the rear bumper, a couple of plastic corners on, brake lights and indicators both sides, and that's it. Well, on the 300. 200s don't have the brake lights in the bumper.
Okay.
So all I've done, undone the bumper because it was all smacked, and just removed it.
Right.
So that's what you're going to expect to see. Okay. Oh, take the tow bar off.
Right. Okay.
Tow bar bolts through there.
Okay. Now the original plan was just to put a normal steel winch, sorry, a steel bumper on this.
Yeah, I was just going to put like a recovery bumper on.
Yeah. Now you're going to put a winch in it. One of the issues that we talked about is the fact that you've got to make sure the door's going to clear it when you open it. You've got to have it low enough. But at the same point, you don't want to sort of, change your escape angle by having anything too low.
Yeah.
Now that everything's been raised up. So what's the first plan? What are we going to get rid of here? What's going to stay? What's going to get chopped off?
Right. Bumper mounting eyes.
Yeah.
Both sides, they're coming off.
Okay, don't need those.
Then I'm going to cut through the rear section of the chassis.
Yeah.
Where the old tow bar was, so that I can push the winch further back.
Yeah.
So we're going to build a new winch tray box section in here to hold the winch, and then we're going to build a bumper to that, which is all removable, and that's how we're going. So we're just going to cut, basically everything that's here we're going to cut away, bar the piece that holds the fuel tank, because the fuel tank is bolted on back here.
Yeah, that's one thing you said to me, is this fuel tank is bolted onto part of this. You don't want to mess around changing that, so you're going to keep enough of that to keep that support in place.
Like a quarter of the back section of it. So get the plasma cutter, cut through that, cut through there, cut this out, cut them off, dress everything up, and build a new winch tray to go in there, and then we're going to build the bumper off that.
Excellent. Right, let's get started, and let's see this new plasma cutter in action.
Cool. Didn't need that bit. Right guys, as you've seen, I've cut all this away. Cut the front part of the tow assembly away off the back chassis. Cut the top off. Somewhere I've cut the bottom off. That's there. Been using it to protect the fuel tank while we've been cutting out the other bits. There's the underneath piece. So now we've got a nice big socket to put the winch bumper into. Now we've got the pocket cut out to put the winch in, so the winch is going to fit just in there, like that, and it fits perfectly in that gap. Me and Chris are going to grind this up. Now we're going to dress up the sides and all the bits, ready to build the winch tray, and we'll get cracking on with that.
So Paul, plasma cutter made short work of that, and then we spent about half an hour just dressing this up. So essentially now what you want to do is build a box which is going to be your winch tray, which is going to bolt into this, isn't it? So you can actually take it off.
Yeah, we're going to basically make a bottom piece, 2 sides, and then a faceplate for the fair lead.
Right.
And then it's going to have 2 extra pieces that come round, so it sandwiches the horn on the chassis there.
Yeah.
So we can bolt it in place, and then we'll build the rest of the bumper off it. But we're going to have to put some tube in here to reinforce it, so it doesn't just crush this piece of chassis.
Okay, so essentially once you undo this, the whole bumper plus tray would come off, be removable.
Yeah. So if we bend it in the future, we can just take it off, because my original plan was to weld it in.
Yeah.
And I thought better of it for the extra couple of hours it's going to take to make it removable.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
But now this is all dressed up nice now. It's almost like it was purpose built to take a winch in there. It's spot on, isn't it?
It's the perfect size. You're happy this is going to be strong enough now supporting the bash plate and the tank?
Yeah, it's double skinned. I'm still considering whether or not to just run some extra weld in the corner and put a piece of bracer in the middle, but we'll do that while we're welding.
Okay.
But I'll think about it. It seems like it's seam welded up the back, and it's no less strong than it was before.
Okay, so I'm going to get a plasma cutter out and start making a first box.
Yeah, get the tray cut out.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, I've got the rough parts for the winch tray. Let me just move on it. That's my level. And basically that's what the winch tray is going to look like. I'm going to tack weld that together now and then make a faceplate for it and get it drilled and mounted. Yep, that drill bit's bent.
Right, so where we're at the moment, and Paul, we've got the first part of the tray ready to go in. Sides have been welded on.
Yep, so let's just show you on that. They're all that's oil all over them, but the sides are welded on. We drilled through the chassis. We're going to put
original Land Rover jack handle, wasn't it? Just
yeah, that's the original jack handle out of this.
So just basically going to put those in there for the bolts, aren't we? To
and just tack them in.
Yeah.
So we don't crush the what's it.
Yeah.
And we're going to offer this up. We're going to bolt it in. That's it. We've made the tolerances a bit tight, but that's about spot on for me. There we go.
So it gives us a starting point then from which now to
build the rest of it up. We've decided we're going to put a little bracer on the back of here to strengthen that, but we're going to get the front on, get it all welded up, get this bolted in, then we can take it all off and assemble the rest of the bumper.
And then we start building the bumper, then the rest of the bumper off.
Yeah.
And this is our point.
Yeah, we're going to build out from here, well, out from just beyond these chassis horns, out from here, light boxes. I think we'll probably end up going to angle them up a bit to keep the departure angles.
Cool. Right.
But yeah, let's get this bolted out. And that's it. I thought I'd cut myself. Oh, look, claret!
So you can see, guys, as the box is now starting to actually take shape, what we're doing now is we've just made or cut another piece of 5mm plate here. We're going to basically tack the plate in here, and we've got a hole obviously here. We're going to drill the hole so the bolt will go right through this piece and through this plate, so it's sandwiched on both sides. And then we're going to put a second hole just around about here, again through this plate, through the chassis, and through the inner plate just here.
That's a proper weld, that is. Well, we've got the winch tray built and the winch is in. Everything seems to fit. We can now unbolt and remove this winch tray with no problems at all. everything fits, it lines up, winch goes in. We've got to make some modifications to the winch to actually make it fit, but we'll show you them later on. And other than that, it's gone together really well. Well, I can't say much more than it fits perfectly now, don't it, Chris?
Yeah, so we've got two pieces each side, haven't we, to sort of sandwich onto the chassis.
Yeah, we made two brackets onto the chassis, so it's doubling the strength and halving the load.
Got a hole for the fair lead.
Yeah, that's it.
All in. It's nice and snug. So basically, you know, keep it as minimalist as possible.
Yeah. Well, we want to. Well, the aim was to make sure it didn't ruin the departure angle on the rear of the vehicle.
Yeah. Before anybody panics that you can't open the door, we've already thought about what to do.
Yeah, we'll show you what we're going to do with that. And there's a modification coming up for that in a bit.
So next step now is to basically come off both sides, isn't it? And now start fabricating something for the rest of the actual bumper.
Yeah, come off both sides and make some light carriers and just some corners to protect the body, and that's it. We're nearly there. Well, it's even later in the evening, and this bumper is so cool. It is awesome, and it fits really well. We've just undone it. It lifts off, no problem at all. And it's not that heavy. There's not that much weight in it. We're just going to make some reinforcing bits to go underneath to strengthen it out. Let me just show you. Hang on. Let's see. We're going to put some like gusset pieces in down these sides. Nothing's seam welded yet. It's all tacked up, ready for seam welding. But no, it fits absolutely spot on. I'm really happy with this. So we're going to crack on with this and get these bits made, and then come back a bit later on. We're going to start seam welding this up.
Paul, according to my Haynes manual, it does recommend that I have a rear winch bumper on my vehicle. Okay, so today's video is all about putting a winch.
A winch?
A winch.